doesn't like vanilla? I mean, vanilla is the most loved note in perfumery. And I happen to have for you the best fall fragrance vanillas for you. If you want to hear what they are, and I think there's 12 here, all different price ranges, stay tuned for that. So let's go. I have, for starters, and these are not new releases. I went through my collection of over 1,000 fragrances and picked out what I thought were the best fall vanillas. They are truly vanilla, some a little more gourmand leaning, but nothing so heavy or woodsy or anything that's like really loud that you want in the cold weather. These are going to be perfect for fall weather. And these are the ones I was looking forward to coming back around to. And they're all gentle enough for more mild kind of weather. So let's start with Maison Francis Kirkdjian's Gentle Fluidity Gold. This is so good. This one's been out for a while and it's still a favorite of mine. There's the Gentle Fluidity Silver and the Gentle Fluidity Gold. And if you don't know, MFK kind of schooled everybody on thinking you could look at notes and figure out what it was going to smell like, because those two fragrances have the exact same notes and they're polar opposites. Polar opposites. Silver is a little more masculine leaning. It's crisp, it's clean, it's fresh, it's cold. This is warm, it's creamy, it's a little more feminine feeling, and it's more fluffy and soft, and they're so opposite. This one is a powdery, musky vanilla that kind of gives like fur to your clothing. Oh, it's so good. It has a almost, gosh, in comparison to these others, an almost slightly like aromatic almost kind of feel to it. This almost not quite menthol, but this slightly micro mentholated kind of feel to it. There's coriander and juniper in here and it's in very small amounts. You kind of just change the balance from the silver to the gold, but it does still give this hint of this like almost metallic feeling or mentholated kind of feeling in the background. But when you're wearing this fragrance, you really get that warm, cozy feeling from the vanilla. Now, I know a lot of people compared it to the next fragrance here from Orientica, this line, the Velvet Gold. I don't know if they're identical. I feel like the Velvet Gold doesn't have that aspect to it. It doesn't have that juniper and coriander in there. I think the Velvet Gold is really good. But I have here the Royal Blue. I like this. It's very similar to Leighton. However, kind of along those lines, Leighton, people call it like this Vicks opening. It again has a very mentholated lavender in the opening. And it also, to me, makes it lean more masculine, where this is much more unisex to me because it doesn't have that aromatic lavender in there. It's more creamy. It has lavender and apple in here. However, the way the lavender is it's not so aromatic. It's definitely more sweet, more toned down. It doesn't go through that stage. It's much softer on it. And then gosh, the dry down on this is so addictive. And if you're like me where you love Leighton on a man, but it is masculine, I'll even wear it sometimes just because I think it's amazing on a t-shirt to be wearing that. This one is a lot easier for a woman to wear and is just as addicting for a man. And it is a better price point, especially given that Parfums de Marly is one of the most counterfeited brands. You never know if you're getting the right thing. And I also cringe to pay full retail because they're discounted so many places. But then do you know you're getting the authentic thing or not? Even in a department store, one of the biggest hacks people do is purchase in a department store, take it home, return a counterfeit that's wrapped, and they don't know that it's a counterfeit at the store counter. Those people aren't trained in that. And then now they have in circulation a counterfeit that they don't realize they just put in circulation. And it's happened quite a bit at department stores. So you kind of have to be careful. If I'm worried about that, I'm just going to go for Orientica. Just pay a little bit less and right off the bat and get the Orientica, and you don't have to worry if you got a counterfeit or paying full retail. And these are far more affordable. They are more expensive than other Middle Eastern brands, but I like Orientica a lot. I find them to be more refined than a lot of other Middle Eastern brands. Their price point's a little higher. I mean, I think their full retail is 100, but you can get them for less. But I feel like they're worth it. They're like a tier up in those. They're like a middle ground Middle Eastern, not quite luxury niche and not quite the affordable, like stupid affordable kind of dupes. I like the quality here a lot better. This one is definitely not blind buy worthy. This one has a tropical florals in it, which really segues nicely into early fall from summer. And it's by Perris Monte Carlo, and it's Vanilla di Tahiti, meant to smell like a vanilla Tahiti. And it has these yellow florals in here that some people perceive not so nice. I've heard different renditions of what people will interpret, and this happens with a lot of notes. Sandalwood can turn pickle juice. Orange blossom can turn BO, and it's all just a perception by people. This has a Lang Lang and Champaca florals in it, along with a really nice sandalwood amber vanilla. To me, it's really this exotic florals, this like Tahiti florals, along with this vanilla, and it just kind of gives this really nice summer fall threshold vibe. I've always loved this one, and as it dries down, it just gets better and better. You get a little bit more of that sandalwood in here, sandalwood vanilla, and those florals aren't for everyone, so definitely try this. The X-Straight, this is the EDP. I like the X-Straight even better, but it is a lot more expensive. That one goes really nice, like ambery, buttery, rich, boozy kind of vanilla that is decadent and phenomenal and rich and luxurious. A lot more expensive for a smaller bottle, but the EDP is fantastic. This one is a lot easier on the budget. It's only $55 for a 50 ml. So it's definitely affordable. It's a vanilla cookie, and it is vanilla by Theodoros Kalotinis. This one is literally a fresh baked snickerdoodle cookie, I'm going to say. Yeah, like snickerdoodle. You're getting a little bit of caramel vanilla in here, although the caramel is very toned and really more of a vanilla, and then a little bit of woods that come through at the dry down. You get more of it, but it definitely keeps this fresh baked, like soft baked cookie. And then as it dries down, it's like the cookie has cooled and the cookie has gotten a little bit firmer, and now it smells like a hard cookie that's been sitting there or that you took out of a bag versus out of the oven. It's such an easy vanilla, and it's fantastic for layering also because it's vanilla. It's a very gourmand vanilla and very affordable. If you don't have this one yet in your collection, you really should have this one, vanilla. It's one of my favorites from the house. Next up, another one of my favorites from another house in Rome, from Profumum Roma, is Vanitas. Now, when I was first getting into really deep into the hole a few years ago, gosh, oh my gosh, time flies. Like 5 years ago, everybody was telling me you need to try Dolce in Fondo by Profumum Roma. I really like Dolce in Fondo. I like Vanitas even better. They have so many vanillas there, and their vanillas are fantastic at Profumum Roma. They're very high in oils. So this is a spray bottle. It also unscrews. You can refill. It comes with a little roller ball. I always keep a roller ball in my bag, usually Giosa. They want you to roll it on so it's not getting all over your clothes because of the high oils. And it's one of the only brands that actually says it's okay to rub it in, where normally you don't want to crush those molecules. Because of their oils, they kind of want you to rub those oils in. Unlike a lot of other high percentage and high oil content fragrances like extracts that don't give you a big sillage because it's not evaporating, Profumum Aroma gives an incredible scent bubble. I am always surrounded in the scent that I give. I don't know how far it goes, but I definitely notice a sillage from me getting like in and out of the car and moving around. I love the performance on these fragrances, and they will go 12 hours at least. And Vanitas, man, Vanitas is sandalwood vanilla. No, it's a vanilla. Again, these are all primarily vanillas, but I definitely get a creamy wood and a crisp wood, like this myrrh is in there also. That myrrh giving this more almost incensey, churchy feel to that vanilla. And a little bit of orange blossom brightening it up. It's that vanilla that's really taking the center stage here. So Vanitas, I love that one. Another one that's been around for a while, I have the EDP. They have since released an extrait. I have the version from 2015. It is amazing, and it's by Atelier Lune Feline. This is still my favorite from the house. I have a lot, and I think I'm going to be doing, I'm doing a big declutter, and a few of its little siblings from the collection are going to be going, but Lune Feline EDP is still my favorite. This one opens with a pop of cinnamon and cardamom that gives it a really nice kind of zing and sets it apart. Gosh, and a little pink pepper too. I like pink pepper. It's more of a sweet kind of pepper. This definitely is more woodsy, along with that pop of cardamom that really stays with this one. So it's got the vanilla and all these woods. I mean, you've got pear balsam, and you've got cedar and styrax, which can be a little bit sweeter. Ambergris, which I finally got to try real ambergris. And oh my goodness, it is amazing. And the hint of slightly saltiness there, it really is like this ambery vanilla that is so addictive. Lune Feline is just still one of my favorites. If you like a beautiful, bold, ambery vanilla with a pop of cardamom in there, this is the one. It's a buttery, round vanilla, like ambery, full, so good and powerful. And then of course they have these gold flakes floating around in the bottle, which just never gets old to me. Real quick, if you're enjoying this content, give it a big fat thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to make sure you get more of this kind of content in your feed. And also a big fat thank you to Studio 100 for helping me with my content and working with me and sponsoring me. I could not keep up with my schedule without you. You make my life so much easier. I'm so grateful for you. Chloe, you rock. I feel like I have a lot of fragrances here. I do have one brand new release, but a lot of fragrances here that have been launched like sporadically over the last few years, some last year, some recently, but like I kind of really just pulled them all from all over my collection, just pulling my true favorites, like the tried and trues. This one was a huge hit a year ago, 2022, and then all of a sudden, it's like everybody was crazy for it, and then they just kind of drop. And it's like, gosh, did you forget how much it was loved? Or was it all just fake love? Like, gosh, it's good. And I find this house to be really good at gourmands in general. Like a lot of really good gourmands here. And it's by Epico. Epico Vani Charnel. It is an incredible caramel vanilla with a furry kind of component to it. To me, it opens with some fruity notes, but it's not really what's defining this. It's really a caramel. It's a caramel. It's a soft, fluffy, liquid caramel vanilla with a muskiness, giving it this light kind of cloud-like texture to it. So good. There's a little bit of white florals and peach blossom in there just to give it a little bit of lift, a little bit kind of fluffy, because it really is about this airy, fluffy kind of vanilla, and it's sweet, and it has incredible performance, Vani Charnel. And there's benzoin and musk. Now, benzoin, I always think about how it just kind of like thumps off you a little bit, kind of thumps and like this one purrs off me. It gives this, it emanates off you a little bit with that benzoin. It helps. So delicious. Next up, now I know a lot of people like Baby Cat. I was never a huge fan of Baby Cat. I don't like that burnt tire, resinous, burned feeling that's in there. Some people like, and in cold, cold weather, it can actually smell really good. But for me in my weather, it just doesn't smell good. But I have one that's better than that. I truly believe this is way better than Baby Cat. Because of that reason, it doesn't have that incense in there. And it's by Salas, and it's Bianco Eterna. This is a beautiful suede vanilla. That same type of vanilla that's in Baby Cat from by Yssel that everyone loves, saffron. There's saffron in here, giving this like a suede texture to it, and a dryness that comes from that saffron. And dry woods, amber, vanilla, musk, and a little bit of creamy tonka. It's, to me, like vanilla scented suede, like, but there's no suede in here. There's no leather in here. It's just vanilla and saffron. Gosh, and these ambery dry woods that just gives it the most amazing, sexy kind of texture. Like there's something very smooth, boom shakalaka, you know? Like Stealth Cat kind of is the way. Like this is what I wish Baby Cat was, to be honest, because I just don't get the allure to Baby Cat unless, you know, it's like I said, a lot of people in really cold weather. But Bianco Eterna is my second favorite from this house. The first one, you know, is Amore Toro. The next one is by Maison Dior. So the Privé collection of Dior, not the high street designer collection. And it's Bois d'Argent. I never gave this one a chance because I don't like the opening of this fragrance, but I absolutely love everything after 10 minutes. Once I learned to be patient in the store when I bought this actually in Cannes, France. Oh my gosh, I was in heaven. Now, this is one that I actually consider a year-round fragrance. So because of that, it really transitions nicely into fall for me. I wore this in the beautiful summer. I actually wore this in October in Cannes where it really is that sparkling, sunny, transitional kind of season day. And it was so just perfection. So this one opens a little bit woody and cold smelling. And I was like, gosh, it's more like a cold iris. It's not really my thing. And it's a little bit of juniper berry, which is giving it that cold kind of feeling. Ooh, and I thought it would be a warm iris. Just sit tight, because in 10 minutes, the magic happens. And it turns into the most beautiful, powdery vanilla with a woody undertone to it. And it's just so gorgeous. Oh my goodness, very fluffy kind of feel to it. It's so weird. I had to spray the opening again to remember it. And yeah, it's just not the same. The way it transitions, it's like powdered sugar comes about and you get this magnificent powdery iris vanilla that is so good. And it's so comforting, this fragrance. It wears the way Gris Charnel wears, the way it's just kind of fluffy on you and cocooning you, except it's more of just the vanilla and the wood. This one is so good. That's why I have a big fat bottle here. I also had a 8 or 10 ml from before that I was trying to finish first, but yeah, I had to get the really big one on this. This is like hairspray size bottle. It looks like I didn't even touch it, but it's because seriously, this is like, I could double fist this here. This is so big. Bois d'Argent. Okay, this one, gosh, is so misunderstood that I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And you see mixed reviews on it. And I feel like people were smelling a perfume that wasn't settled, because when it's not settled, notes can kind of fly around a little bit, because this one is beautiful. Now, if you like Delina exclusive, which is rose and vanilla and oud, it's great, fantastic. However, now it's so popular that even teenagers are wearing it because it's so easy to wear. I still wear it. Call me a teenager. I don't care. It's ageless. However, it does gravitate that younger people can easily wear this. If you want to know who her rich auntie is wearing an elevated version of this, it's this one right here. It's Ruby and Vanilla Oud. Now, I don't get the reviews saying this has a very animalic oud in it. To me, yes, you have to be okay with oud. It has oud in it, and it's much more prominent than in Delina exclusive. You're going to have the oud take center stage and this vanilla rose, but it's gorgeous. And if you know the Ruby and Vanille Intense, that red one is a very opulent, syrupy vanilla again. And if you added oud, it's great, but that vanilla backs away, where it's what I wish Maison Oud Satin Mood was. It's what I wish that was, because it sounds like that's what it was to other people. It has a very powdery vanilla in here with rose, and the oud is decadent. But again, when I first smelled it from a sample, I thought the same thing. I was like, oof, harsh. Then I turned back around to it and was like, is that the same juice? No, because it's phenomenal. And I don't like Oud Satin Mood. It turns, that one is nasty to me. And that one is like saccharin on oud, and I don't get any of the rose and the vanilla. This one, I'm definitely getting that rose and vanilla in here, and it's gorgeous. And you can definitely smell that EBK kind of DNA in here. You can see how they're all related. I just find this one so amazing and just a little bit older and more elegant than Delina, which has a very youthful kind of feel to it. A vanilla that was super popular several years ago that, again, got like love-hate, and it was Ani by Nichane, because there was this herbalness. And I even had a guy friend, rate some fragrances, and he said it smelled like an Eastern medicine pharmacy. An Eastern medicine pharmacy. Like he said it smelled like herbs, and he's right. It was very herbal, and it kind of got mixed reviews for that. And then they came out with the X version for their 10th anniversary. Way, way better. I now love this fragrance. There should be a bigger dent because I should use this more often. It is a gorgeous citrus rose fragrance. It opens with a little bit of fruit. You're getting some lemon and some bergamot, melon, and you get this ginger cardamom mix, which makes it very unique. In the mid, you're going to get some green apple and black currant, just kind of doubling down on that fruity juiciness. And you get also the lavender, sage, and rose in there. And that base, it has this vanilla, sandalwood, cashmere wood base that is so delicious, but it's really that ginger cardamom that just makes it so unique with the citrus and the rose. It is so incredibly beautiful, this one. I love it so much more than Annie. Annie, I struggled with. I really struggled with it. And they're beasts. Nishane, this is a beast. I wore the Annie, the original, in the heat for the first time when I got it in August. And I was like, I don't know, we're going to need to take a break, okay? We're going to have to definitely take a break in this relationship for a little bit while I reevaluate things. It was definitely the wrong month to be wearing that fragrance. And I definitely resented that perfume for a little bit. Can't lie. It was... But this one fixed everything. Okay, and the last one I have is more affordable. It's from Lattafa. It was just released, so if you're looking for more affordable alternatives, I do have this one. And it is Angam. I think that's how they say it, Angam. And it's a dupe of Burberry Goddess. So it's opening with a citrus ginger, mandarin ginger, and pink pepper, giving this kind of zing to it. You see like gingers in a few of these here. I like ginger in the fall. The mid is this kind of rich, creamy, like praline vanilla. Kind of goes into this almost gourmand kind of region. And then you also have a lavender, but it's more of a sweet lavender that's in here with some jasmine and this just gorgeous ambery vanilla in here. Now, I wasn't sure when I tried Goddess when it first launched. I went to Nordstrom's and tried it and was like, okay. I didn't think the performance was that fantastic because while I was there picking up stuff, it vanished before I left. And I was like, all right, it's okay. It's not impressive. It's okay. But for that price, I wasn't so sure about it. I was like, definitely not at this price. Maybe if it goes on discount after it's been out for a while. But the Lattafa is another great alternative. I've actually been wearing this and I kind of like it, and it's definitely better performance than the Burberry. And it's a pretty darn good from my memory because I don't have Goddess, but from my memory, it seems pretty similar. But again, a much better longevity where I kind of got this great vanilla and the gourmand kind of aspect from that praline in there and the cocoa in the first 30 minutes or so. But with the original Goddess, that just kind of collapsed to me. And I was like, okay, I really like this. So those are my 12 fall vanillas. These are basically my favorite vanillas for the fall time. I've just pulled them out. They're over the 10 years of exploring these niche fragrances that these are the ones that I've just really stuck tried and true with. The ones that I look forward to wearing when I really crave a vanilla in the fall. Let me know some of yours down below and don't forget to hit that like button and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.